The Jacksonville Jaguars have already had a pretty interesting season. Like, let's be real. Like, every time they play the Colts, it's incredible. It really is. But you really are starting to see, I think, a team that is really coming out of its shell. No, I know. This last game wasn't the prettiest. I will be the first to admit. The Texans, that wasn't, the loss to the Texans wasn't great. But I do think it's important to note that this 2022 NFL draft class for the Jaguars is looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. And we're here to show you how exactly it's looking. So, obviously, yes, the first overall pick, there was, speculation on whether it would be Travon Walker, Aiden Hutchinson. I even, in our mock drafts, we even said it could be Sauce Gardner, which, it is what it is at this point. But Travon Walker, the edge player coming up out of Georgia, 18 total tackles, 1 sack, 1 pick. Those last two stats coming for the first game, by the way. First game he was dominant. After that, he's kind of fizzled out a little bit, but I do expect him to continue to get better and really live up to his potential. 62.8 PFF grade. I think, there's just so many physical tools. There's a reason he went number 1 overall over guys like Aiden Hutchinson. That's the thing. Like, this edge class really wasn't that established when you think about it. Like, there weren't many players that I was going out and was comfortable taking in the top 5. But, Travon Walker, I think you draft him because you really like his upside and what he can bring to your defense. The ability to rush on the inside and the outside, also play outside linebacker. Ran a 4.5. Yeah, this dude he's athletic. I think he's going to continue to get better, and I think he's got the potential to be a very big building piece for their defense, especially moving forward. Then still in the first round, the Jaguars selected Devin Lloyd, the linebacker coming up out of Utah. Apparently, I can't put colleges today. He had 49 total tackles, 2 interceptions, 6 pass deflections through the first 5 games here, and 72.0 PFF grade. He's been one of those guys that, quite honestly, has just been he's been on fire. He really has. He's been a lot of fun to watch so far. I don't foresee him. That's the thing usually about rookies is you expect growing pains. You expect something to go wrong, I should say, or not say, I guess. But overall, he has been absolutely balling out, and you love to see it. But like I said, I think it's just a matter of time before he continues to really establish himself as one of the best linebackers in the entire NFL. That's right, absolutely. So, you know what? I think he's already going to be at least in that discussion for the Defensive Player of the Year, which you love to see. Again, guy in the middle of that defense. Like, I thought it was going to be Chad Muma, like, coming up out of Wyoming. I thought we'll get to him in a second, but I thought he was really going to be, an interesting selection for the Jaguars and maybe be that guy that could have the impact that Devin Lloyd has had. But there was a reason Devin Lloyd was a projected top 15 pick before the draft. So, and then in the third round, after trading up, the Jaguars selected center Luke Fortner out of Kentucky. I love me some Luke Fortner. I absolutely loved Luke Fortner. Him and Cam Jurgens were my 2 top graded centers in this draft. It was going to be interesting. Well, other than Tyler Linderbaum. Top 3. Linderbaum, obviously, as well as Fortner and Jurgens. Not in any particular order, obviously, other than Linderbaum being number 1. But So Luke Fortner through 5 games and 5 starts has had 1 penalty, no sacks, a 50.4 PFF grade, and honestly, I've seen worse. I have seen worse players at the center position. I'm a Vikings fan. I know what it's like to see guys in there that can't get it done. And Fortner, he has been getting it done. Has it been pretty? No. Has it been at an all-pro level? Also no. But he's getting it done. The Jaguars' offensive line looks better. Like, I know that, obviously Trevor Lawrence and company are still figuring it out, but the Jaguars' offensive line does look better, and I think Luke Fortner is definitely a big reason for that. Then the aforementioned Chad Muma out of Wyoming. 5 tackles so far this year. I think he had double-digit defensive snaps this last week in Week 5, which was great to see. Had a 60.3 PFF grade. I think he's going to be a guy that, honestly, he might be a better fit as an outside linebacker in the NFL. I said might. Or you might want to put him on the inside there, once he develops a little bit more, because he's going to be a special player. I absolutely full-heartedly believe that. He reminds me, and I might be reaching out here, but he really reminds me out of Wilson coming up out of Wyoming for the Bengals. So, I really felt Logan Wilson. That is, excuse me. I could just remember last names. Like, yeah, that's gonna work, Colton. But anyway, he reminds me a lot of Logan Wilson, the linebacker for the Bengals. He flies around, makes plays. He's not a liability in coverage, and I think he's going to be a lot of fun to watch as he continues to progress. Then in the 5th round, number 154 overall, the Jaguars selected running back Snoop Connor. Snoop, you gotta love that name. Coming up out of Ole Miss. He's on the active roster, but obviously Travis Etienne as well as James Robinson. I mean, that kind of stacked a running back. You don't expect him to really get the time of day, which it is what it is at this point. Also, In the 6th round, number 197 overall, the Jaguars selected Gregory Jr. out of Ouachita Baptist. I hope that's how you say it. But he's currently on the Jaguars practice squad. That's the one thing. Even if these guys don't make the active roster, you love to see him on the practice squad. That means this franchise has a plan for him, and you're excited to see what that is. And I think the thing with Gregory Jr. coming up, I think that it never hurts to have good, solid corners that can play special teams. I think he's that guy moving forward once they continue to develop him. And then finally in the 7th round, the Jaguars selected Montarik Brown, the corner coming up out of Arkansas, has played in one game so far for special team snap. Again, those later round guys, sometimes you find a diamond in the rough that are able to do some special things, but I think Brown could be one of those guys that maybe he sees some defensive snaps later on in the season, but at the very least, it's very valuable getting a guy like him to come in and play special teams. But that's it. That's how the Jacksonville Jaguars 2022 NFL Draft Class has fared so far. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. We thank all of you. We love you guys all so much. Thank you guys for all the support that we've gotten so far. In the description down below, you'll find all of our social media platforms. So give us a like and a follow there. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put it in the comment section down below, and we would love to see it. We would love to cover it, But let us know how you guys think the 2022 Jacksonville Jaguars draft class has played so far.